Edge has some sinister plans for the Schuster minds. Plus, Kilgrave, Thaddeus Kilgrave is introduced. And is Sam Lois's father plotting against Superman? What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Sibz, West Coast, East Coast siblings, where we break down your favorite movies and TV shows. Tonight, we're talking episode 4 of Superman and Lois. It's going to be your biggest takeaways, review, reaction, all rolled up into one video. So hit the subscribe button, click the bell so you don't miss. Happy Snyder Week, everybody. Of course, we're going to be doing coverage of the Snyder Cut when that drops, but let's get into this episode. So this primarily deals with Superman and him being distracted, right? So Sam tells the boys, Jordan and John, that, you know, your dad has big responsibilities and he can't always be there for you, which makes the boys reluctant when they get into a situation with Tag Harris. Now, Tag Harris has developed powers from being in the vicinity of some yellow phosphorus, I think Sam alluded to, and it activated a latent metahuman gene in him. So potentially Smallville's about to become a hotspot for metahumans, as I would assume anybody maybe around that campfire when it exploded that got that substance in them or on them that has that latent superpower, that meta gene, they're going to develop powers as well. So that's the situation we have now, but it gets worse because Morgan Edge, we finally find out why he wants access to the Schuster mines, okay, which obviously is a reference to Joe Shuster, one of the co-creators of Superman. There's yellow kryptonite. It's called X-kryptonite. For those of you who don't know, X-kryptonite is a special type of kryptonite that gives non-powered people Superman-like powers, although it's temporary. And so this explains why in the previous episode, the person who was fighting with Superman, he was likely one of Morgan Edge's experiments that had gotten exposed to some yellow X-kryptonite, and it gave him those powers, albeit temporarily, because one of the other agents came in and lasered his head through in the closing scenes of that episode. So that makes sense why he had powers before, but they wore off and she was able to go in for the kill shot. So now, with Morgan having access to all of exclusive access to these Schuster mines, who's going to stop him? He said he had enough there to raise an army of Superman, and I'm assuming he's working on a way to make that permanent. Now, speaking of needing the genius to make something like that permanent, we got introduced to a character called Thaddeus Kilgrave, one of Superman's old-time villains. This guy is a genius, as many of his villains are. They love to do the brains versus brawn thing with Superman. I don't know why. I'm a doomsday guy myself, but I digress. So Thaddeus Kilgrave, he is known for being a scientist and creating weapons to fight Superman, much like Lex Luthor. He actually was responsible for giving Joker a nuke that he used on Superman at one time. So in this episode, it's really dumb. He uses sound waves to fight Superman, and this was a really bad scene, in my opinion. This is the first time I've had a negative reaction to this show because it's really good. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. So Thaddeus comes with the sound gun, and we've seen this in BVS, etc. Sound is something that hurts Superman. It can knock him down, but it doesn't ultimately hurt him too badly. Now, here's my problem. This dude is faster than light, so it doesn't seem like he would have a problem dodging a sound weapon, and he gets hit so many times with it, but even after taking a pummeling from that, he's still able to hear Jordan and Jonathan's call button. They basically call their dad. And at that point, right, so all of that was fine, but at that point, he completely says, okay, I'm done with this, and he claps, and that's it. And that was the end of Thaddeus Kilgrave. I'm assuming he got knocked out. Superman fried the gun and then peaced out. So who knows what's happening with him, but I'm assuming he might get recruited by Morgan Edge to help develop a way of making that X-kryptonite more permanent and have more of a permanent effect. So from there, I want to move on to the great journalist Lois Lane. She's obviously been tracking Morgan Edge, and it was kind of a dumb thing, but there was a big town hall where people were voting whether or not to give Morgan access to the Schuster mines. She wanted Clark to be there to speak on her behalf. Clark Kent, pretty popular dude, famous. Everybody knows he's a big star, a big shot out in Metropolis, a well-known reporter. But I don't think it would have turned the tides anyway. And Superman was obviously busy. Sorry, he's a superhero. And she was let down and was angry. So I get it. Maybe she was upset. This was a big deal to her. But Lois can handle it herself. I don't think she needed to win a town hall. It's best to catch him in the action, best to catch him in the crime. I think that's a better way of taking down somebody like this than to just vote him down, because he was always going to stick around. He was always going to be around. He bought so much property. The best way to get rid of him is to catch him in a criminal act. One quick point I want to make: there was no Lex Luthor again, and I mean, we know his suit is getting repaired, but he's been missing for a couple episodes. So I just wanted to point that out, that we hadn't seen him in a while. So from there, I want to move on to the other thing that happens in this episode, which is big. This was kind of the big cliffhanger of the episode. Sam, after he got into a conflict, a bit of a spat with Lois and Clark and Lois, whatever, about how to raise the sons. And they were obviously peed off at him about talking to Jordan and John, telling them not to call their dad. Obviously, the boys could have died. And Sam didn't seem to care. Those are his grandsons. And Lois has this issue with him because I guess he wasn't around all the time, and he was honor over everything. That was kind of his motto. I mean, he's a military guy. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's a sensitive subject, obviously, when it's his daughter and she felt neglected. But he obviously has a very strong sense of duty, and it obviously left Lois feeling neglected. So he wants Superman to take on that same thing. And several times he takes shots at Sibz, talking about, oh, well, if you would just do your job, this, that, and the other thing. By the way, I am so amazed at the amount of people who have no problem talking smack to somebody who can literally rip a planet apart if he wanted to. Or, he's uber powerful. And it just speaks to the arrogance of people, who you would have no respect for somebody who could end you. Before your neurons could tell you were dead, he could kill you that quickly. So, but I digress. Anyway, so the Hell and Back Protocol 7734. This was something that Lex Luthor, who once again we haven't seen, introduced a couple episodes back. This is from his world, in which Superman was evil, and I guess he destroyed their world. And Lex is assuming that every Superman, including ours, we're assuming this is our Superman, yeah, whatever, he's going to turn bad as well. Bringing in Thaddeus Kilgrave is also very interesting because, once again, Thaddeus was the villain who gave Joker the bomb to use against Superman. So there are different ways that this could play out, whether Morgan and Thaddeus and Lex and Sam all team up together. But it seems like Sam is now convinced that Superman's going to go rogue, that he's going to go bad. And he's got that dog tag with the Hell and Back thing where you flip it at 7734. So who knows where he's at this point. I understand the man wants to spend time with his family, but I don't know, something about that just doesn't speak super crazy villain to me. It almost seems like he wants to get out of the whole superhero game, not become a villain. But so that was a big cliffhanger that we kind of left the episode on, is now we can't even trust Sam. Oh, by the way, Tag Harris got taken to the DOD, a special school for gifted youngsters, X-Men, am I right? Like, Charles is probably over there teaching them kids. I know, wrong universe, but whatever. Also, one tiny thing before we wrap. 14-year-olds drinking. I mean, John and Jordan are supposed to be about 14, and there were a lot of red Solo cups in that party. I mean, I think that's a violation right there. Just the implication. Also, we got a little bit of bonding between Lo and Lang, a.k.a. Lois and Lana Lang. They were having some troubles with their mans, and so they just had a chat. So I guess there's some bonding going on there. I don't know if that's something, if we'll see it develop later or not, but that covers episode 4 of Superman and Lois. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I would expect to see Lex Luthor come back in the next episode, probably having his suit, but we'll discuss it in the comments all week. So I can't wait to chat it up with you guys. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe, as we already like the same TV shows. We did The Flash earlier. I wasn't so happy with The Flash show, so you guys can watch that for yourselves. Also, again, Snydercut comes on Thursday. Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Friday. It's going to be a great time. Season finale of Servant also comes on Thursday. So you guys can click here and here for my latest on WandaVision and on the Snydercut, etc. Have fun, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.